Hi and welcome. Today I have a mixed media Christmas card tag. Not sure actually what to call it, but I start with one of Tim Holtz file cards, the kind one that had the tab. They come in a whole packet of different things. And I'm going to use some of the collage strips for the background. I just love these collage strips. They're so versatile and they're just great color combinations, and just they vary so much that you can make a really nice background pretty quickly. So I'm just picking one piece of one, and then I'll take a couple pieces of something else just to cover the um, file card piece with these collage strips. Before I glue them down, I'm gonna do a little bit of distressing with some vintage photo distressing, put some creases in them. I like them to look vintage and old, and so I'm just kind of adding some marks to make them look a little worn. So with the first piece ready to glue, I just grab my liquid glue and secure on top of the file card. And I just line it up, and I'll have a little bit of trimming to do. And I save my scraps, at least the bigger pieces, for use for some other place in the future. And now I'm just gonna find a couple little pieces that I can use on the sides. So again, just a little bit of trimming. And you can tell I'm kind of just figuring out where things are going. I mean, I have a kind of idea where I'm going when I start, but it's just a work in progress. Okay, so I have the back covered. I'm just going to add a little bit of distress ink around the sides so the sides aren't really bright white. I want them to look a little aged. And I'm looking at collage items that I'm going to put on, but first I decide I'm going to add a layer of the Tim Holtz sparkle texture paste, and it's going to go on whitish, but it dries clear and leaves and also has some sparkle in it, so you can't, when it's all dry, you can't really tell it's there until you kind of flash it in the light, and then you see the texture paste with the sparkle in the design of the stencil. I really like this texture paste. It's subtle, but yet adds something. So I just spread it on with my little tool and then carefully pull off the stencil. I have a little bucket of water that I'm just dropping that stencil in. And then I'm going to set that piece aside to dry. And for the picture, I just bought some, its texture paste is called Snowfall. And so it looks like there's snow that's landed on something, maybe even starting to melt. That's kind of what it looks like to me. I don't know if it's supposed to look like that, but so I'm just going to add a little bit of that in the corner of the picture to make it look like there's just a little bit of snowfall on that picture. Again, it's my first time using this product, and I have to say I really liked it. I wasn't sure if I should use a stencil or not. Anyways, I thought, well, maybe I should just kind of dab it on. But I really liked what the stencil did for it. It just kept it in nice little round drops, because I think I would have just mushed it all up. Okay, so now both of those are aside to dry, and I'm just going to prep my other pieces that are going to go on top of the card. And that piece right there, it's just a, it looks like it's an advertisement page in miniature for Christmas items, and I got it at, I think, Joann's in the paper aisle, and I glued it to cardstock to give it a little bit of sturdiness and dimension. And there's just a couple spots here I need to re-glue, and I cut a bunch of frames out is what I did on my Cricut, and so this is one of the center pieces of the frames that was just like a scrap. So I thought, well, I'll use that, and I'm gonna mount my picture on that later. And so I'm just taking some pieces that I think I might use. Like this piece right here is, remember I said I save all my scraps? That's one of them. So I'm just gonna tuck it behind something and just have a little bit of a little something more coming out, peeking out behind. And these little stars are punched from a scrapbook piece of paper. And the 2 for $25 is from the Christmas 2024 ephemera pack from Tim Holtz. And then the red berries are from the Forest Floor Stampers Anonymous Tim Holtz collection. And I stamped the whole thing and fussy cut it out. And I used most of it, but I had these two little branches left, and so I thought I'll just tuck them in here. And I'm adding some vintage photo to make them not look so white. I also did that with you saw the pine frond. I had stamped that and actually embossed that, but that's all stuff I just had in my stash ready to pull out. So here my background and my picture are dry and ready to go. And now I have everything ready to assemble. And Tim's always saying, to like if you want to sit down, do a whole bunch of one thing so you have it to pull from. So I took that to heart, and I have a whole bunch of pine boughs in different colors, some embossed, some not, some inked already, some not, but just so that I can pull from them and I don't feel like I'm starting from scratch when I want to create something. Okay, so I'm just starting to figure out how I want this on my background. And like you can't really tell from here that it's got that sparkle background, but hopefully at some point you'll be able to see it. So I'm just trying to figure out where everything's gonna go. I love that Forest Floor 2 stamp set. I'm kind of I like earthy things, and I think it goes well with the collage strips. Okay, so I think I know how I want everything. And I'm just going to start gluing it down. And you always want to start from the back, work your way forward. And here I had that 2 for $25 up a little higher, but I did want to see that little candle that is on the collage strip. So I had to weigh it's like, which do I want to see more? And I really like the candle. So at the end, you don't get to see much of that 2 for $25, but that's okay. And the other thing about doing it compartmentalized, I just took all these stamps of the fronds and the berries, and once I had them all stamped, maybe inked or not inked, whatever I decided, then I can take them, and one night while sitting watching TV, I can just do a lot of fussy cutting, so I don't have to do that while I'm creating. I think you could kind of see right there when I was moving that around the glitter texture paste behind there, if you see it. And the last thing I'm going to do is add a sentiment. And I think I have the right one, and then I realize, oh no, it's going to run into my texture paste that's on the picture, so I put that one back and grab another one. It says small but bright, which I think is appropriate because these little girls are young girls and they look very bright. I just add a little bit of distress ink and glue it on. And that's it. I've got some final pictures coming up, and I added a little picture that I tried to show you the glitter texture paste a little bit more. But I hope you liked it. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And you guys have a great day and a Merry Christmas.